here they are. As you can see, we're trying to have fun lessons, and I'm trying to use practically everything in order to facilitate learning. However, life happens sometimes, and I hope COVID will never happen again. So about a year ago, we had to follow some certain rules like wash our hands all day, or being social distant, or be away from our friends and some of us from our families, etc. And the first lockdown lasted in Greece from mid-March till the end of May. So during the summer, we were kind of open. We had to follow some restrictions though, but we were open. So I decided to call my friend Maria. Maria is also an English teacher, and she has been teaching English for 25 years. However, she has a bachelor in psychology. And as we were discussing about various things, we both noticed that our students were tired during the first lockdown, and they procrastinated a lot. So Maria told me that, you know what, how can we expect from our students to learn and follow what we say if their basic needs haven't met? And then this was the first aha moment for me. And whoever knows me, well, when something interesting comes out, I prefer to do a research first before I respond to it. So I read quite a few books. I participated in some courses. I read a few research papers, etc. In one of the books, I found out this sentence, especially the book by Sprenger. So you cannot take care of the Bloom stuff until you take care of the Maslow stuff. So basically what both of them told me, on their own way, of course, was that we cannot, as teachers, focus only on building our students' cognitive skills and to think that our students might be creative or evaluating or analyze all these interesting things that Bloom has illustrated until we have taken care of their basic needs. And by basic needs, I mean their physiological needs like air, shelter, food, and water, the need to feel safe, the need to feel loved, the need to feel respected, and the need to feel that they belong in a group. So everything that I was read was under the umbrella of social emotional learning. And it was September when I realized that this is what I need to do, because we are during the second lockdown, we are closed from October, I think, from the end of October. So I felt that this is what I need to do more than just teaching the language. So what is social emotional learning? Social emotional learning involves different things like self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and decision-making skills. However, two of these skills drew my attention, and these were resilience and empathy. Let's start with resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from or adjust to change. So I noticed that my students were becoming super stressed, and this is not quite normal for adults, and this might be quite normal for adults, but not for children and teenagers. So the first exercise was to let them take a deep breath. I start by asking them what stresses them out. They give a name to the stressor, and they wait 90 seconds, and then they respond to that stressor factor. So I let them 90 seconds or 1.5 minutes, because actually it takes our brain 1.5 minutes to transfer its focus from the amygdala, which is the emotional center of our brain, to our conscious brain, which is the cognitive lobe. In other words, I let them do anything apart from thinking what stresses them out. And this is the first step to manage their stress and try to be more resilient. I also noticed that my students are struggling with time management. Although we do believe that they have plenty of time on their hands, actually they do not, because they don't know what to do with their time and they are in front of their screen. So before the beginning of each week, I ask them to write down what they have to do during the week, sorry. And that means, the responsibilities. And in the second column, I ask them to write what they need to do. In this way, they separate their responsibilities. For example, I have to study my homework, I have to go to school, etc. On the other hand, they focus on their emotions, on their needs, what they actually need to do. I now need to go for a walk, and that's it. I don't want to read. I don't want to study. And then I thought that, COVID is a problem. It is a health issue, but it's still an important problem. So I decided to incorporate more problem-solving activities, or as I prefer to say, it is okay to fail activities like scavenger hunts, online ones, of course, situation cards, dilemmas, and debates. In this way, you teach your students how to wait, and you also teach your students that no matter how hard the problem is, you will eventually reach to the solution. So this is an important lesson to learn, to wait and find the solution and fail, of course, until you reach the expected outcome. And of course, the second skill was how to cultivate empathy. Empathy is mainly about acknowledging others' emotions, understanding, and walking in someone else's shoes. So I feel that we all need to listen to listen to something kind, or to hear a kind word, or to feel that we are respected and loved by someone. So I decided to create a kindness wall, and I found that idea, of course, on Pinterest, but this is a time that we all need to hear something kind. So my students anonymously put on Google Jamboard their kind thoughts, their kind sentences. They can revisit it anytime, they can delete it anytime, they can rewrite anything. And in this way, you expect, and when you are down, you go there, you read the word, you read the sentences, and I feel that you feel better. And as for the next exercise, I've been doing the filling exercise since 2016, when I started working abroad. At the beginning of the lesson, I asked my student, how are you feeling today? They may justify if they wish. For example, they may say, I'm feeling tired because I haven't slept well all night. And at the end of the lesson, actually 5 minutes before the end of the lesson, I also ask them, how are you feeling now? Has it changed? Why? Why not? Because actually, this is a way to focus on their feelings, to understand their feelings, to give a name to their feelings. And this is the first step in order to manage their negative feelings and acknowledge their positive feelings as well. The third exercise, I wish my teacher knew. I came across this about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was kind of scared of this exercise because I felt that, well, how my students would react to that, or I felt that I wasn't too responsible to react properly. However, now it was the right time. So again, anonymously, I asked my students to complete this phrase. I wish my teacher knew. You're not going to believe what came out. It was amazing. You will never believe what your students feel at that moment. And alternatively, you can do, I wish my brother knew, I wish my parents knew, I wish my best friend knew. It's a great exercise for understanding how other people feel. And actually, and finally, when we're talking about empathy, we're talking about role-playing games. It's a great exercise because you can be whoever you want to be. You can use your voice in whatever way you wish, and of course you can take part in whatever situation you want to take part. And also for my students, they liked all of the activities, they participated in all the activities, and we are still doing this, of course, except for the time management. I feel that they're struggling with time. So I would totally appreciate if you have any other ideas about time management. So this is a sample of what my students have created so far. So why social emotional learning? Because research revealed our mental health and behavior is improved, and that means that less distress or depression incidents occur, and that means that it increases our academic performance. And because we have this creative stress or eustress, as research pointed out, which is a moderate degree of stress, which helps us learn and helps us our memory as well. And of course, you create an inclusive environment in which everyone feels that they belong to a group, everyone feels that they are respected and loved. So basically, this is my experimentation with social emotional learning. I'm still experimenting on this. I'm still trying different things. So should you need further information, I strongly recommend you visit the website CELTA. They have created a detailed framework and a huge framework on social emotional learning, and you can find lots of ideas there. So I feel that it's time to educate our heart. So thank you very much, and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Thank you for being aware of the basic needs that students have, the need to feel loved, respected, and safe. And social emotional learning is such an important topic nowadays. We need to teach students how to address the stress and this overwhelming feeling. It's never just teaching the language. I always think, especially now, right? And we do have some questions here. One of them is, how can you apply this method to older children who have exams to focus on?
Okay, so it's a great question. So what you can do is to focus on stress management techniques, because students, especially these days, are super stressed. They are inside their houses. They do not go out. So what you can do is just to focus, do brain breaks. And these are focus on your breath, not necessarily meditate, but focus on now. This is what we call mindfulness. It's another technique to cultivate, to relieve their stress. And I feel that with exam classes, what I'm doing is focusing on their strengths and focus on how to relieve their stress as much as possible. But bear in mind that it's challenging, it's difficult time. So unfortunately, even my students are struggling. And because we, as I said, we are closed from October, schools are not open, haven't opened yet. So you have to be aware of the fact that many students will not be able to follow you because you cannot do many things.